guys, this is Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music salon where great things happen. Hope everyone is doing awesome. Lots to talk about today. We're gonna do a fun little lesson on like rhythm embellishment on acoustic guitar using thirds and harmonies, and who knows what the hell we'll get into, right? ADD always kicks in when we start jamming. But first thing, man, it is new guitar day for me. I don't buy a lot of, I've got a ton of stuff. I'll probably do a little video sometime of all my stuff that I'm staring at right now. Dozens and dozens of guitars and gear and stuff. But ironically, I'm not a big gearhead, man. Like, I've got a lot of stuff, but I've never been technically proficient as far as like, knowing how things work and just getting into all the, I don't set up my own guitars, which leads me to my point about this guitar I just bought. I bought the Kempers, I've got the pedal boards, I've got my Fender Tonemaster Pro. But man, I really do like to keep things simple. I buy all these like toys, but only use the most basic features. So when people come to me and ask about all this technical stuff, it's like, man, I have no idea what you're talking about. So ask somebody else. But this new Martin SC13E is a great guitar, and I bought it on a whim. And I'm going to plug one of my buddies in a music store here in Cincinnati here in a second. So, and I'm going to be forewarned, if you don't want to listen to me ramble, just go on about 2 or 3 minutes here. I used to play for 30 years acoustic gigs, supplementing my regular gigs. I'd play 3, 4, 5, 6 nights a week sometimes. I used to be, back in the day, I used to be in this band, and we used to literally tour every weekend, Thursday through Sunday. And I would play till 2 a.m. on a Thursday night at this place in town in Cincinnati called Jefferson Hall. And I would literally get done, and the bus, not the bus, but our van and trailer would be waiting for me outside. I would get done playing a 4-hour shift, 10 to 2, all my stuff ready, and I would jump in this van and trailer, and we would drive to wherever city and play. So I did it for years, man. And then up until a couple of years ago, I did a lot of acoustic shows, and I play acoustic all day at work sometimes, but it's just strumming chords. So I'm doing some solo shows coming up where it's just instrumental acoustic, which I'm really excited about. But man, I found my fingers were just really killing me, to the point of I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do it. So I tried lighter strings, and not a lot was working. And I've got like the Gibson Chet Atkins guitar, and I've tried some of those other Fender bullshit guitars. No offenses, electric acoustic Kanawas, whatever. Didn't like them. That's just my opinion. Not knocking them, just not for me. Anyway, long story short, on a whim, I went to my buddy's place in Cincinnati, Ohio, called Third Rock Music. And in the days of music stores, they're a dying breed. And I'm going to talk just for another second before getting this lesson, I promise. But man, music stores are a dying breed. And you and I, if you're watching this, we can't let that happen, man. I'm guilty too of ordering stuff on Amazon. Sweetwater's awesome. I try and refuse to go to Guitar Center, man, even though I bought stuff there. And I'm not knocking anybody. We're all trying to make a living. But, it's like record stores, man. There's just certain things in society we have to have. We have to have music stores. You got to be able to walk into a place and look at guitars and pick them up. And if we lose that, man, we're fucked, okay? We are fucked. We're an older generation, if you're probably watching this, my age and up. But for the younger generation, they've got to have that, man. We can't just go online and order stuff, man. You got to be able to pick up these things and play it. So I beg anybody that's watching this to keep going to music stores and support your mom and pop shops. So there's a place in Cincinnati called Third Rock Music. My great buddy Tony Caldwell and Greg Gammon opened the store, right around COVID or before, and when every place else was closing. So they opened a store, and it's awesome, man. It's in Cincinnati. I send a lot of my customers there because I don't have a lot of equipment. I send a lot of my students there. Rambling, I know, but I bought this Martin 13S, or whatever it is, SC13E. I walked in, I said, Tony, man, my fingers are hurting. He goes, Sean, play this guitar. And I picked it up within 30 seconds. I'm like, all right, just ring it up. I'll take it. And again, not technical, so I don't know all the details of all the stuff, but it's got like these, like supposedly easy to adjust, like you just turn this and do that, and it's supposed to be real easy to set up. And of course, my dummy ass can't do it, so I took it to my guy and had him set it up the way I liked it. It was just a little too low. But man, this thing plays damn near close to as electric as possible. And my fingers do not hurt when I'm playing up here all day long. So great guitar, man. I recommend, this is, not an endorsement, but I guess it is. It's a Martin SC13E. Really good guitar. They're around $15.99, I think, like that, something like that. And if you're in Cincinnati, check out Third Rock Music. We got to keep these local music stores alive. We can't let them die. That's priority. Okay, so if you're still with me, thank you. Okay, now let's get into this lesson here. So a fun way to embellish, man, is using harmonies in thirds, or six, thirds and six, of course. But I think I was playing like around with these six ideas. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite little go-tos that is so common. So say we're playing in a key of A. Which happens a lot. Well, if you got like some time to kill and you're hanging on a chord, sometimes you don't want to just sit on a chord. So let me give you an example. If we're playing something and the song happens to stay on the A for a minute, there could be singing, there could be whatever, instrumental break. Well, I'm going to use this little idea of playing the harmonies. And you can do it in any key, but the reason I like E and A and D is because you've got these open strings to accompany it, which gives it a nice almost 12-string effect. So check it out. So we're hanging on the A again. Well, I'll switch to an A7, I'll go. So what I'm doing here, and I'll show you sort of lick. It's super easy, and I'm just harmonizing the scale all the way up. So, and by the way, a lot of people get confused. They're like, well, where's the root? Well, yes, we are in a key of A, and yes, this is, or that's your root. You don't necessarily have to start on a root. You just start wherever you're at. You're still harmonizing. You're 6 notes away from each other in the scale. And that's all that is. So if you're playing like an A, look, do, re, mi, fa, so. So if I go like this, 1, root, 1, 2, 3, well, look at that. I'm 3 notes away from each other. That's called the third. So don't get confused by all the jargon, man. It's just intervals and notes and stuff like that. So if I'm a 6th away, check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, look at this. That A and F sharp. That's your 6 notes away. That's your interval or your harmony. And that's a great sound, man. That's a really desirable sound. Your ear wants to hear that. Okay, so you can play those all over the neck on different string sets. So going back to this, there's my A7. Okay, which, if I do that, that's just a harmony. But now if I go up, check this out. And there's just 2 shapes you got to memorize. So if I move this up 2 frets, I'm not going to keep that shape. I'm going to change 1 note. Now, do not move your middle finger. Keep this on. As tempting as it might be, do not move that middle finger. Keep it on this whole time. Okay, so here, slide up, but this note goes back 1 fret to the 3rd fret. That's shape 2. Right, so we got 2 shapes. Shape 1, which just looks like an A7. Shape 2, we slide up and move this finger back. Okay, now we're just going to follow a pattern all the way up. Now we're back to shape 1 again, right? So now we're repeating shapes. Shape 1, shape 2 at the 5th fret, shape 1 again, move this up 2 frets. And there's a little pattern I'll explain to you in a second that makes this easy to help you memorize it. Then I go up to pattern 2 again, move that up 2 frets, pattern 2, and you gotta use your ear a little bit, you'll hear it, and then pattern 1. So all together we got and that's so nice and pretty, man, and you can play around for days with that stuff, even just starting like just picking patterns like that's just moving up 1 position, but if I keep going. I might hang out in 1 spot because I like it. Look where I'm at, a whole octave up. So when you're playing on an A, that's the formula I use. Okay, so you're playing on A, and now just play around with those little embellishments. And you don't have to use them all. And what I tell people when you learn this is go up and do 3 at a time. Start with this. Get that down. Go to the next ones. Then stack them together. So Once you do the original 2, check it out. Shape 1, shape 2. This always works. Now the next 2 will be this. For the next 2 will be the same shape. Then the following 2 will be the same shape. Right? So you got shape 1, variation. The next 2 are the same shape. The next 2 are the same shape. Last 2 are the same shape. Now that 7th can change depending on whether you do a flat 7 or 7. Don't worry about that right now. But that sometimes will change. But for what we're doing today, just easy pattern. Okay, now let's say we want to switch to another chord. Well, what do we do? Okay. So we'll go to like an A to the 4 chord, D, right? So again, if I'm just strumming regular. And by the way, all this stuff sounds good. All these little embellishments, check it out. You all probably know most of these little embellishments. Always adding suspended notes. If you don't know that, play it. Look, add your pinky. There's your sus, major, sus again. Sus 4, sus 2. So just start with that, right? But once we've worn that idea out, then we start adding the idea I was just talking about. So again, I'll play just a basic A to D. Now my idea. So let's take that same idea using those intervals of the 6, right? And the information's already in the chord. So if I'm playing this D chord, there's my harmony right there. Look. Same thing. Just move that shape up. So here, so 2 2, or just really just play the D chord, but your harmony's in there. Let's see here. Move up 1 fret, but then you're gonna go. I'm sorry. Yeah, here we're gonna go 3 4, and there's always a string in between. If we were doing thirds, it'd be different. So we're just talking about 6ths today, the 6th interval. So again, if I'm doing. Okay, now if I want to keep that going, watch, I'll go. Oh, sorry. Forgot my own rule. So check it out. And try it off other shapes. Like here's a D shape up here. My F shape D. So if I play that D, right? But we're, obviously we're using this more in a rhythm context for right this second, right? So now, the reason I like these keys and I chose this is because you can always keep that on top of all this. So check it out. And sometimes you'll need to mute out the strings, but in this case it's not really pertinent. So let me just give one more example here, just playing through like what I did here. Just so from vamping on A to D. Right, if I count that, check it out. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. I can't can't count and play it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of space, man. You know, so you got time to do stuff. So. Right, so that's all we're doing. We're just moving these shapes up the neck. Now what if I went to an E chord? You know, you could use this for anything like we're doing, kind of melodic, just strummy, bluesy stuff. I love the sound, man. You know, like I'll switch to blues for a second, like, you know. Right, so that's, you hear it in a lot of blues tunes. It's a little vamp, right? So love the chord vamps. So if I kept this kind of in the melodic vein, which we're doing, it's great because we've got, again, 2 shapes. Now here's a little different. This shape is actually shape 2 of the first pattern, like, right? So it's that shape up here off an E chord. And it's really just like an E7, if you think of an E7 here. Now shape 2 is a little different. Again, a little bigger stretch, 2nd fret G, 4th fret A. So here's my 2 shapes. 1st fret G, 2nd fret A, which is just basically an E7 chord. Check it out. But if I leave out the open strings, then it's just a little harmony. Right, so you got those shapes over the E, and then you can do stuff like. Just using all those open strings. So, man, there's some fun ideas for you to use just for vamping, you know. Just these open cowboy chords, right? Using these relatively sophisticated, I guess. You know, if you're doing this stuff, it's kind of next level stuff. So, if you guys are still with me after I'm rambling on, I appreciate it. So, a couple more things. You know, new guitar day here. The new Martin guitar I got. And if you're in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky or Indiana, check out Third Rock Music and Tony Caldwell and Greg, the guys at Third Rock. Super awesome store, man. Like I said, I hate to beat a dead horse, but if I feel passionate about something, man, we gotta keep music stores alive. We have to, you know. So this Christmas season, if you buy something, consider buying it from a local dealer, man, because they're a dying breed, and we don't want to lose music stores. I had the new Rhythm of Life come out this week with Brent James. If you don't know Brent James, click it on and learn about him. He's a singer-songwriter. He's signed to a publishing deal in Nashville. He lives here in Cincinnati, but travels all over with his band, and super talented cat. I got another exciting one we just shot yesterday. Can't give it away, but I'm excited about that. So we got all kinds of cool. I mean, I got some pretty cool guests coming up for this Rhythm of Life. So it's got legs. It's starting to take off a little bit. So I can't thank you guys enough. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. I've got a link for Zoom lessons, the whole 9 yards. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great one.